NBA players that became famous for odd reasons. Some NBA players are more famous for what they've done outside of the NBA than for what they did in the NBA. When you're an NBA player, you can create direct relationships with models and celebrities. Many believe these athletes are living a life, but some athletes have made poor choices in the fast lane, while some didn't know that things can get in the way of dating a celebrity. Then there's Dennis Rodman's relationship with Kim Jong-un. Here are NBA players that became famous for reasons other than basketball. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was a defensive beast on the court, as he was a lockdown defensive specialist. Rodman could guard all 5 positions on the court. Even in today's game, there are only a few players that can do this, such as Draymond Green and LeBron James. Rodman wasn't a scorer. His job was to guard and shut down the opponent's best player. Rodman is best known for shutting down Shaq during his prime. Rodman was also one of the best rebounders in NBA history. He had great judgment when the ball hit the rim, and showed complete athleticism, making him a unique weapon against any team. Rodman was a better version of Draymond Green, although Green is a better scorer. Rodman was also a great hustler. His personality on and off the court is pretty interesting. Dennis Rodman has been an informal basketball diplomat of sorts to North Korea, and actually arrived in Singapore before the United States President Donald Trump had his historic summit with Kim Jong-un. Rodman didn't have any official role in the summit, but he told reporters Monday that he is just happy to be a part of it, because I think I deserve it. I think I brought awareness to a lot of things around the world. Rodman, before the summit, explained his optimistic expectations, saying, "It should go fairly well, but people should not expect so much for the first time." Rodman had been one of the only Westerners to meet with Kim. Kim had been openly hostile towards Western nations, including the United States. Kim is actually a huge basketball fan, and loves the Chicago Bulls apparently. His favorite player was Rodman, who was part of the Bulls during Michael Jordan's prime. Kim invited Rodman to Pyongyang when they first met in March 2013. Rodman is a 5-time champion thanks to Michael Jordan, and traveled with 3 players from the Harlem Globetrotters and a group of journalists from Vice to meet Kim. There was a picture of Rodman and Kim hugging, and he was criticized by human rights activists after saying Kim would have a friend for life. The friendship continued to grow, and the basketball star made several other trips to North Korea with other basketball players to spend time with Kim. Rodman sang happy birthday to Kim in January 2004 when he took a bow to Kim. In an interview later that month, Rodman had to defend himself when he appeared to defend Kim in North Korea's imprisonment of American missionary Kenneth Bae. Kenneth Bae did one thing, if you understand what Kenneth Bae did. Do you understand what he did in this country? No, you tell me, you tell me. Why is he held captive here in this country? Why? I would love to speak on this, Rodman told CNN when asked whether he would raise Bae's release in talks with Kim. His comments didn't sit well with Bae's family, US officials, or human rights activists. Rodman later apologized for his comments, and wrote a letter in November 2014 begging for the release of Bae. Bae was released later that week after being detained for 2 years, and in a 2016 interview he thanked Rodman, saying the NBA star controversial rant was a catalyst for my release, because it got so much attention. Then, in 2017, Rodman presented North Korea's sports minister with a copy of Trump's 1987 book, The Art of the Deal, as a gift to Kim. Trump, who was Rodman's boss on 2 seasons of The Celebrity Apprentice, talked about the negotiation in his book. I think Kim didn't realize who Donald Trump was at that time, I guess, until he started to read the book and started to get to understand him, Rodman claimed in a May interview with TMZ. Rodman then surprisingly endorsed President Trump. He tweeted, @RealDonaldTrump has been a great friend of mine for many years. We don't need another politician. We need a businessman like Mr. Trump. Trump 2016. Trump responded via his Twitter, "Thank you @Dennis Rodman. It's time to hashtag make America great again. I hope you are doing well," Trump responded. Chris Humphries. Chris Humphries announced in 2019 via his personal Instagram account that he would retire from professional basketball. The 34-year-old had been out of basketball since 2016-2017 and couldn't find another job since. Humphries was the 14th overall pick in the 2004 NBA draft and spent 13 seasons in the league with the Jazz, Raptors, Mavericks, Nets, Celtics, Wizards, Hawks, and Suns. Over 800 career regular season games, Humphries averaged 6.7 points and 5.4 rebounds in 17.8 minutes per game. He's better known for marrying Kim Kardashian. For 72 days, Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphries were husband and wife, and it was a legitimate mess. Chris basically said that he hated everything she loved. He also talked about how Kim would always punch him in the arm when he ruined her pedicure. It wasn't the right match, and they were under brighter lights than NBA stars. Chris has opened up about the relationship that was basically monitored by every single person in the world. According to him, it was brutal. Chris penned an essay called "I Never Wanted to Be That Guy" for the Players Tribune, and wrote that he should have known what he was signing up for when dating and marrying Kim. He remembered, "I was definitely naive about how much my life was going to change. But the one thing that really bothers me is whenever people say that my marriage was fake. There's definitely a lot about that world that is not entirely real, but our actual relationship was 100% real. When it was clear that it wasn't working, what can I say? It sucked." Chris added, "It's never easy to go through the embarrassment of something like that. It was brutal. In this marriage, people around the world seemed to be on Kim's side, and Chris felt like he couldn't defend himself at all. Plus, if he said anything and started drama, it would hurt the teams he was playing for and hurt the game of basketball." Chris started getting a ton of hate mail, which gave him, as he says, a lot of anxiety, especially in crowds. Chris said that it was so bad that he recalled not wanting to leave his home. "You feel like, I don't know, the whole world hates you, but they don't even know why. They don't even know you at all. They just recognize your face and they're on you," he wrote. Basketball was the only thing that helped Chris get out of his comfort zone. He was able to be with teammates, enjoy laughs, and play the game he grew to love. Chris is currently opening some Crisp and Green restaurants and Five Guys burger joints all across the Midwest. Chris has done a great job turning his life around after he received so much hate for being misunderstood. Lamar Odom and Tristan Thompson. Lamar Odom was in the same spot as Kris Humphries, just worse. The Kardashians love their athletes, and they love their drama. Lamar Odom fell right into the trap. We've seen Kim, Kourtney, and Khloe and mother Kris go through their fair share of ups and downs. Khloe has been in the spotlight thanks to Tristan Thompson. While Khloe was 9 months pregnant, the media leaked images and videos of Tristan, her long-term boyfriend, kissing and hanging out with other girls. Since then, their relationship had been very rocky. That wasn't Khloe's first go-around with an NBA player. She had her first marriage with former NBA player Lamar Odom, which went down in flames. Let's break it down. Shockingly, Khloe and Lamar married after just 1 month of knowing each other. At the time, both believed that they found their match and that they could make it work. Khloe was less known than the other Kardashians, and wanted to make a name for herself as well, apparently. So they married after 1 month, and Khloe got to taste some of the spotlight over her sisters as she sat in front of all of Lamar's Laker games. In 2011, they had their own celebrity TV show called Khloe and Lamar, just to prove that their marriage was working or something. Most believe their relationship was stable, but Khloe filed for divorce in 2013 because Khloe had had enough with the relationship. Apparently, Lamar's issues with substance abuse and run-ins with the law were tough for Khloe. It took a few years for the couple to finalize their divorce. Lamar was arrested back in 2013 for driving under the influence. He entered a rehab facility for 1 day and then left. Lamar then pleaded no contest and was given 3 years of probation, but followers got the hint that the former NBA player was abusing substances more regularly. Lamar's issues were being released for the public but for Khloe. She knew all along and tried hard to get Lamar right. Lamar checked out of rehab after one day the divorce was going to take place. As one anonymous source said in December 2013 about Khloe, she wants a fresh start. It wasn't an easy decision, but at the end of the day, she's not going to stay with someone who refuses to get help. Lamar was also unfaithful to Khloe during their marriage. The substance abuse was just one thing that Khloe learned during their marriage. And while that hurts Khloe, there's things that Lamar did that were way out of line. There were cheating rumors that first spread in January 2012 when one tabloid said Lamar was unfaithful with a woman he met at a strip club. Then another breaking news alert came out in 2013 where there was another rumor that claimed Lamar cheated after a basketball game with the Mavericks. Lamar had blindsided Khloe, and she explained her anger on the Howard Stern show during an interview. "Lamar was so great at making me feel like I was the only one and I'm this princess. I never speculated cheating, so I didn't know about cheating until before the DUI," she said. "It is humiliating on any level, but I found out he was cheating on me the majority of our marriage. I just didn't know." In 2017, Lamar penned a letter that discussed the brutal marriage between him and Khloe personally. Lamar went down a dark path and called himself a scumbag, and even recalled a time when Khloe caught him doing drugs with a woman in a motel. They're no longer in contact, but Lamar still talks highly of Khloe. Lamar was on life support in a Las Vegas hospital just a few years ago. Odom, 39, was given the chance to play in the Big Three, full of former NBA players. Odom last played in the NBA in the 2012-2013 season with the Los Angeles Clippers. Odom spent 14 seasons in the league with the Clippers, Heat, Lakers, and Mavericks, and won 2 NBA championships with the Lakers in 2009 and 2010. He briefly played in Spain in 2014 before his career finished. However, Lamar's skill level at 39 wasn't good enough to play in the Big Three, and he was cut. Big Three co-founder Ice Cube said the league wanted players that are actually playing, and doesn't have room for anyone who can't play or has health issues preventing them from living up to the standard expected. The move was made for competitive reasons, and not due to any off-the-court issues. In October 2015, Odom was hospitalized after being found unconscious unconscious at a Nevada brothel. 2 years later, in a 2017 interview with Ian Drew of US Weekly, he said that he was living sober after his near death. It seems like athletes who date the Kardashians end up in a tailspin, but there's no denying that Odom was in a mess and needed more help than he would allow. Lamar, who had been teammates with Kobe Bryant on the Lakers, didn't even fear seeing Khloe at Kobe's memorial. Lamar has moved on with Sabrina Parr, whom he proposed to in November of 2019. Lamar talked about Kobe's passing a couple days after talking about how shocked he was. "I haven't felt a pain or a shock like this since my son passed away in 2006. Lamar was referring to the tragic loss of his son Jaden, who was just 6 months old when he passed away from sudden infant death syndrome. With everything that's happened in Lamar's life, it's amazing that he's still on his feet. He deserves credit for changing his life, at least for now.